Hey scrappers, Tom here from the iScrap app, and today I want to talk about the ugly truths behind some scrap yards and some of the yards that are across the world. But before I talk about that, please subscribe to our channel, like our videos. This way you get fresh content pushed to you so you can learn more about the scrap metal industry and how you can make more money with your scrap. I've heard about a lot of these rumors about scrap yards across the country. No one in particular, and any bad experiences you have, I'd love for you to share and comment below so we can learn more and share that knowledge with other scrappers. But some things that you want to avoid when you go to scrap yards and they don't do some of these things, or they do these things, a lot of little red flags, right? Some scrap yards might not tell you how to sort and separate your materials. So you might have a lot of copper mixed with a lot of brass, and they may buy it as a yellow brass. They may not give you any upgrades or mixed prices, which means you're not making money. And if you're in a rush, you're not paying attention, and that means you could be losing money. If you had an experience like that, let us know. Maybe it's a heavy steel mixed with a light iron. I'd love to hear how they don't help you upgrade your materials. All scrap yards in the country have scales. You can't operate a scrap yard without it. If your scrap yards don't have those calibration sheets for you to see, you might want to ask, or you might want to double check on your own scales. You can buy home scales, but for weighing items like packages, and you could start to spot check some of your weights to make sure things line. One of my favorite things is when a scrapper comes to our yard and says, I have 1,000 pounds of copper. In reality, they know they have exactly 1,000 pounds. And when our scales match up to their weights, it gets rid of all of those problems. But if you've had the opposite, where you've weighed your material and they come in less, I'd like to hear about those things as well. Some people will have different tares, and we've talked about this, right? The gross is what everything is on the scale. So if you're doing a load of steel, your truck plus the steel, that's the gross. Then you unload the material, you weigh your truck up, that would be the tare, and then you would have the net weight, which would be the actual material. If you're weighing on a scale and you're using your truck, that should be pretty upfront. But what if your scrapyard has different push carts, dumping hoppers, or plastic bins that they use, and you don't know what those weights are? At our scrapyard, we have the weights written on the side, and very often, really almost every week, customers that either haven't been here before or like to spot check us, they'll take those carts, put them on the scale to make sure that the two weights match up. This is a great tip for you to be able to do before you unload your material, because after you unload your material, now they might not be in the mood to dump that out, and if you have a disagreement on that tare, that could be a problem. Now the next one, everyone loves prices, right? But how many scrap yards are posting their prices online? How many scrap yards are aggressively changing their prices up when the market goes up? Are some scrap yards holding at $3 copper still when the market should be at $4 because they don't really care about upgrading material for customers or giving them better prices? Well, that's possible, and that's where iScrap really came into fruition, because we saw that there was a problem with transparency in the industry, and that's why you get the ability to report your prices and learn about other prices, especially the national averages. So use the iScrap app, whether it's the native app on your iPhone or your Droid, or the mobile website, or just our regular website, to see what the prices are and really learn, so before you go to your scrapyard and get taken advantage of, you know what to expect before you get there. You could also call in advance and ask for prices if they don't put them online, and that way you know when you show up what you should be receiving. So the last point for this part one of this video is going to talk about, how do you check that scale? Do they have those certifications that they share with you, or do you actually do what I said a few minutes ago? Take those push carts, check the scale, weigh things ahead of time. One thing that I do with my larger roll-off trucks, before we sell material to different people, 1 to 2 times a month, my trucks will spot check their weights on public truck scales. If we have a load of rotors, for instance, we'll weigh up on the public truck scale both before and after we dump them, and then we'll compare those two weights from the scrapyard and from the public scale. As long as they're within 0.5% to 1%, because there are small variations, a few hundred pounds at max, then I know we're good. But if there starts to be 2, 3, 4,000 pound differences, then I know that the scrapyard has a problem, and if I don't make them aware of it, then we're not going to get compensated for that. And again, even if their numbers are lower and the gross and the tares are off, that means there's a problem with the scale, so you're not getting the true indicators. So if someone says, hey Tom, even if their scales are off by 5,000 pounds, if I weigh up at 50,000 pounds and then I net out at 30,000 and it should be 55 and 35, I'm still going he paid for 20,000 pounds. It doesn't work like that all the time. Sometimes the heavier the weights are, the larger discrepancies that there may be. So let us know if you've had this problem before. This is the part one of our ugly truths behind scrapyards, or things that you can look out for. If I've missed anything, please comment below and tell us about your experiences. But stay tuned, we're gonna have part two coming out soon.